All right, so the NBA draft lottery was tonight. It was pretty exciting because the Warriors actually had two lottery picks, one of which was just naturally from, missing the playoffs, and one was from Minnesota, which dates back to that Wiggins trade, which involved D'Angelo Russell and now this lottery pick. With, hindsight, it was a pretty good trade. I think we came out ahead in this draft lottery, for a team that just barely missed the playoffs by one game. The fact that we came ahead of a lot of other teams is good. And I think, adding a young rookie that can really, make a really good presence in this lineup will be really important, especially with, cross our fingers, a fully healthy team next year. So the order of the draft lottery went like this: Detroit got the first pick, the Houston Rockets got the second pick, Cleveland Cavs with the third pick, fourth pick went to the Toronto Raptors, fifth went to the Orlando Magic, sixth went to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Seventh pick went to Golden State Warriors, baby. So that's the first one I want to talk about. This pick was from Minnesota. So Minnesota, they don't get a lottery pick because, they traded that to the Warriors, which, with hindsight, like I said, a really good trade for the Warriors. I mean, to acquire the seventh overall pick, like I said, and Andrew Wiggins had a pretty good year last year. So I think, he really came out ahead. And, D'Angelo Russell, with all due respect, I was never high on him. I never thought he was a good player. In at least in the Warriors scheme of things. I think he was a decent replacement when Curry and Clay, were out, but it was a very temporary player. I found him, to be kind of like a rental. So yeah, eighth pick went to the Orlando Magic, and they acquired that from the Chicago Bulls. Ninth pick went to the Sacramento Kings. 10th pick went to the New Orleans Pelicans. 11th pick went to the Charlotte Hornets. 12th pick went to the San Antonio Spurs. 13th went to the Indiana Pacers. And 14th pick went to the Warriors as well. So obviously, the Warriors just missed the playoffs by one spot, basically. I mean, they technically, in a normal scenario would have made the playoffs, but, they had this play-in system in which they lost both play-in games. So they did get a lottery pick in that position. So 14th pick and 7th. I think these are pretty good. I mean, I'm not so super familiar on all this, like the draft picks that are, projected to be picked, this year. Obviously, there's no big, like, star like Zion Williamson or, Trae Young that we're hearing about. But from what I've heard, the Warriors' 7th pick is being talked about that they're going to pick Davion Mitchell, at least according to CBS Sports. He's a 6'2" point guard from Baylor. And obviously, Baylor won the national championship. And, obviously, Curry, is a great point guard, but it would be good to have some depth. And this obviously is the pick they acquired from Minnesota. He averaged 14 points per game, 2.7 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists per game, and he's a pretty good three-point shooter. They want to kind of, help out the core. Obviously, there was talks about Curry not having enough help, and I love seeing Curry play 40 minutes a game, but wouldn't it be good if it wasn't necessary for him to play 40 minutes a game and let Curry rest? I think so. So I think having, a point guard being picked would be maybe a good option. And then obviously our 14th pick is being talked about, Alperen Sengun. And obviously he's a center. We obviously picked James Wiseman last year, but besides Wiseman, we had Looney at center, but Looney has been injured. He's not the greatest scorer. And I think getting a center would be good because, I mean, it's always good to have depth. He's the second best center in this draft class, statistically. There have been talks about James Wiseman being traded. I don't think it would happen. I mean, I guess if it were to happen, I guess it would be good to have a backup because, James Wiseman's a great player, but, who's to say he's necessarily a great fit for us. Alperen Sengun, he's from Turkey. He's a 6'10" center, so pretty big guy, 240 pounds. He's the 24th ranked prospect, but like I said, second ranked center. So, I think, it'd be good to have this. He, obviously is from Turkey, so he played overseas professionally, and so he has experience with that. But I think, it'll be good. He's a good inside scorer from what I've heard. I can't be too sure because, we're very early. We're not even done with the season yet. So I'm going to leave that there. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know who do you guys think the Warriors will pick. And are you satisfied with the 7th and 14th pick? Because I'm satisfied with it because we had a pretty good season this year despite missing the playoffs. But, to get two pretty decent picks, I think, is a win. So let me know your thoughts, and go Warriors.